Good morning. You're watching Sky News. Let's bring you more on a new report which has revealed systemic failures and underperformance by England's water companies. The number of most serious water pollution incidents in England rose by 60% last year. Joining me now, Adrian Ramsay, co-leader of the Green Party. What do you make of this?
Well, this is an issue that the British public cares deeply about. It's an outrage that our rivers are full of sewage when people need to enjoy them, when they're important for wildlife, they're important for so many recreation businesses as well. And this is something the government has got to tackle, because the fact that we've had a 60% increase in serious pollution incidents in the last year shows this is going in the wrong direction. And as the Environment Agency report today makes clear, this has got to be about investing in the crumbling infrastructure that has been starved of investment for so long. In the 3 decades and more since privatisation, private shareholders have pocketed £85 billion of money that's come from taxpayers' bills, and yet the government's saying it would cost £56 billion to fix the water infrastructure. Well, that could have been done if we hadn't been siphoning off money into private profits. What we need to do now is to make sure we're fixing the crumbling water infrastructure. And that's why the Green Party is saying that's going to be done by bringing water back into public hands where it belongs as a public utility. Because as soon as you start doing that, you make sure that the money from people's bills is going into fixing the water infrastructure, fixing this sewage scandal, not into shareholders' profits.
Adrian, dare I say I'm a bit bored, not of this interview, but bored of hearing the same poor reports and then pledges from politicians to change it and improve. You guys are setting out your stall today, but what about the major parties, with the greatest respect, that hold the majority in Parliament? From your perspective, is there the political will to really push forward and make change and clean up this devastating tragedy?
Well, you're absolutely right to highlight this, because the British public is outraged by this scandal. That's the response I get not only in my constituency, but across the country when I'm speaking to people of all backgrounds right across the political spectrum. This is just not what we want in a country that loves our natural environment. We want people to be able to enjoy the natural environment. It's important for wildlife. It's important for recreation businesses. And I'm not sure there is the political will, because when the government has announced its plans for, yes, making some steps in the right direction around things like fines for the water companies, but frankly, if they're taking far bigger amounts of money in profits, have they actually got the political will, the political imperative to stop this scandal? When the government commissioned the Sir John Cunliffe review into options for addressing this, they ruled out the option of bringing water back into public ownership. And I said very clearly in Parliament, I've said several times, if you're serious about exploring all options, why would you have all options on the table apart from the one that will actually enable you to put the money into fixing our crumbling infrastructure rather than into shareholders' profits? And they should have at least allowed that option to be considered alongside all the others, because we've got to have the political will to address this, not only because of the sewage scandal, but also because of the climate crisis. And the other thing this report today has made clear is that this scandal of not only pollution, but of having the right water in the right place when we need it, at times when we've had the driest start to the year in my lifetime, that's made worse by the climate crisis. And we're just not prepared as a country for the heat waves that we've got, for the extreme dry weather that we've got that's impacting farmers, impacting vulnerable people around the country. And the water companies have to be held to account to make sure we're using water as a valuable natural resource properly.
Credit where credit's due is the old phrase and the old saying. Is there any credit due anywhere? Is there any examples of good or best practice?
Well, as I say, the government has made some steps to increase the fines, for example, that would be put in place when there are breaches of the rules. Yes, that is a step in the right direction. But I think if they're going to really ultimately fix the problem, we have to look at what the systemic cause of this. And we have seen £85 billion in the 30 plus years since privatisation squirreled away into private shareholders' pockets, when it would take less than that, 56 billion, according to the government's own figures, to fix this problem, to fix the crumbling infrastructure. So they have taken some steps, but why would you allow the water companies to remain in the hands of failing companies? You only have to look at Thames Water to see how much they're failing, when we could be ensuring that money that we're all paying through our water bills and through our taxes is actually going into fixing the problem.
You mentioned Thames Water there. My final thought, how much longer are you prepared, should the government, the nation be prepared to continue to see the challenges that it's facing without some intervention?
Well, I don't think we should be prepared to tolerate it. I mean, there have been huge fines put in place with Thames Water, which have only exacerbated the fact that it's in such a weak financial position, as well as failing in its basic regulatory duties. I think the government does have to step in. And the question I'd ask is, in what other industry would you allow such frequent and flagrant breaches of basic regulations and still allow the companies to carry on operating? You wouldn't allow that in other sectors. Why are we allowing it with water, which is so precious, so crucial for our survival, let alone for our natural environment that we all enjoy?
Adrian Ramsay, MP for Waveney Valley, co-leader of the Green Party. Good to have you with us. Thank you.
Thank you.